The Musician and the Star Mapper. Part 1, The Silence. Chapter 1, A Life of Music. Leo was a musician. He lived in a very big city. The city was always busy. There were tall buildings, fast cars, and many, many people. Leo had a nice apartment. It was high in a tall building. From his window, he could see the whole city. The city lights at night were like small, bright stars on the ground. Leo loved music. Music was his life. He had a guitar. It was a beautiful brown guitar. He played it every day. He also had a piano in his living room. It was big and black. When he played the piano, the music filled the room. Leo wrote songs. His songs were about love, about life, and about the city. Many people loved his songs. He was famous. He had concerts. At his concerts, many people came to listen. They sang his songs. They clapped their hands. Leo felt very happy when he saw their happy faces. His life was full of sound. The sound of his guitar, the sound of his piano, the sound of people singing, the sound of the busy city. He was never alone. Music was his best friend. Every morning, he woke up with a new song in his head. He took his guitar and started to play. Words came to him easily. Melodies came to him easily. It was like magic. He wrote songs for himself. He wrote songs for other singers. His songs were on the radio. His face was in magazines. Life was good. Life was loud. Life was music. Chapter 2, The Day the Music Stopped. One day, Leo was driving his car. It was a rainy day. The streets were wet. The sky was grey. He was going to his studio. He had a new song in his head. It was a happy song about the sun after the rain. But he never went to the studio that day. There was an accident. It was very fast. A big car hit his small car. Everything was loud for a moment. Then, everything was quiet. When Leo opened his eyes, he was in a hospital. The room was white. Everything smelled like medicine. A doctor was there. A nurse was there. They smiled at him. "You're okay, Leo," the doctor said. "You were in an accident. But you are lucky. You will be fine." Leo's body was okay. He had some cuts. His arm hurt, but he could walk. He could talk. He felt tired, but he was alive. He stayed in the hospital for a week. His friends came to visit. His family came to visit. They brought him flowers and books. After a week, he went home. He walked into his apartment. Everything was the same. His guitar was in the corner. His piano was in the living room. The city lights were outside his window. He sat on his bed. The apartment was very quiet. He wanted to hear music. He took his guitar. His fingers touched the strings. But he did not play. His head was empty. There was no song. There was no melody. There were no words. He tried to think of a song. Any song. His old songs. But he could not remember them well. He went to the piano. He sat down. He looked at the black and white keys. His hands felt heavy. He could not play. The music was gone. It was not just for one day. It was for many days, and then for many weeks. The silence in his head was very loud. He felt lost. Music was his friend, and now his friend was gone. He was alone in his quiet apartment in the big, loud city. Chapter 3, The Empty Room. Months passed. Leo's life was very different now. He did not go to concerts. He did not go to the studio. He stayed in his apartment most of the time. The apartment was once his favorite place. Now, it felt like a prison. His guitar was still in the corner. Dust was on it now. He did not touch it. His piano was closed. He did not open it. The room was full of music things. Music awards were on a shelf. Pictures from his concerts were on the wall. They made him sad. He tried to write a song. Every day, he sat with a paper and a pen. The paper was always white. The pen was always still. His mind was like the white paper, empty. He felt a wall inside his head. He could not go past the wall. His friends called him. "Leo, how are you?" they asked. "I am okay," he always said. But he was not okay. "Do you have a new song?" they asked. "Not yet," he always said. He stopped answering his phone. He did not want to talk to people. They did not understand. How can a musician not have music? It was like a bird that could not fly. It was like a fish that could not swim. One day, he looked at himself in the mirror. He looked tired. His eyes were sad. The happy musician was gone. A sad, quiet man was there. "Who are you?" he asked the man in the mirror. The man did not answer. The city outside was still loud. The cars, the people, the noise. But inside his apartment, it was always quiet. The silence was heavy. It was a sad silence. Leo knew he needed to change something. He could not live like this. He needed to go away. He needed to find a quiet place. Maybe in a quiet place, he could find himself again. Or maybe he could just forget the music forever. Chapter 4, A New Place. Leo opened a big map. The map showed his country. He saw many cities and towns. He saw mountains and rivers. His finger moved over the map. He did not want a big city. He wanted a small town. He wanted a place near the water. The sound of water was simple. It was not music, but it was a nice sound. His finger stopped on a small name. The name was Seaside. It was a small town on the coast. He saw a picture of it online. There were small houses with different colors. There was a long, sandy beach. There was the big, blue ocean. It looked peaceful. It looked quiet. I will go there, he decided. He packed a small bag. He did not take many things. Just some clothes, some books, and his wallet. He looked at his guitar. Should he take it? A part of him said no. It was a sad thing for him now. But another part of him could not leave it. It was a part of him. He slowly took the guitar and put it in its case. He sold his big apartment in the city. He said goodbye to his friends. Where are you going? They asked. To a small town by the sea, he said. I need some rest. They were worried, but they understood. He took a train to Seaside. The train moved away from the big city. The tall buildings became small. Then they were gone. He saw green fields and small houses. The world became slower. After many hours, he arrived. He stepped off the train. The air was different. It smelled fresh. It smelled like salt from the sea. He could hear a new sound. It was the sound of seagulls and the soft sound of waves. He found a small house to rent. It was a simple house. It had one bedroom, one living room, and a small kitchen. It was blue, like the sea. From his window, he could see the ocean. The house was perfect. It was quiet. He put his bag on the floor. He took his guitar case and put it in the corner of the room. He did not open it. He was in a new place. A new, quiet life was starting. He did not know if it would be a good life, but it was a new start. Part 2, The Stars. Chapter 5, Quiet Days. Life in Seaside was slow. Leo's days were simple. He woke up in the morning. He did not have a plan. He made coffee and sat by his window. He watched the ocean. The ocean was always changing. In the morning, it was gray and soft. In the afternoon, it was blue and bright. In the evening, the sun made the water orange and pink. He walked on the beach every day. Sometimes the beach was empty. It was just him, the sand, and the sea. He liked that. He collected shells. They had beautiful shapes and colors. He put them on his window shelf. He went to the small market in the town. He bought bread, cheese, and vegetables. The people in the town were friendly. They smiled at him. Good morning, they said. Good morning, he replied. They did not know he was a famous musician. He was just a new person in their town. He liked it too. He was just Leo. In the evenings, he read books. He did not listen to music. He did not watch TV. He just read. The only sound was the sound of the waves outside his house. It was a soft, constant sound. Shush, shush, shush. It was a sound of peace. But sometimes, the quiet was too much. At night, he lay in his bed. He thought about his old life. He thought about the music. A sad feeling came to his heart. It was like a small, cold stone. He felt very lonely. He did not touch his guitar. It stayed in its corner. It was a dark shape in the room. It was a memory of a life that was gone. He was not a musician anymore. He was just a man in a small house by the sea. He was waiting, but he did not know what he was waiting for. Chapter 6, A Light in the Dark. One night, Leo could not sleep. The sad feeling was big in his heart. He got out of bed and went outside. The town was dark and quiet. Everyone was sleeping. He walked to the beach. The moon was bright. It was a big, white circle in the black sky. And there were stars. So many stars. In the big city, he could not see the stars because of the city lights. But here, the sky was full of them. They were like tiny diamonds on a black cloth. He walked along the water. The moonlight made a silver path on the ocean. It was beautiful. Then, he saw something, or someone. Far down the beach, there was a person. The person was sitting on a big rock. They were not moving. They were looking up at the sky. They had a long tube in their hands. It was a telescope. Leo was curious. Who was looking at the stars so late at night? He walked a little closer. He did not want to make a sound. He saw it was a girl. She had long, dark hair. The moonlight shone on her face. She looked very peaceful. She looked like she was part of the night sky. She was very focused on her telescope. She moved it slowly, looking for something in the sky. Leo just stood there for a long time. He watched her. She did not know he was there. The world was just her, the ocean, and the stars. There was a strange feeling in Leo's heart. It was not sadness. It was something else. It was a feeling of wonder. He did not talk to her. He did not want to break the magic of the moment. After a while, he walked back to his house. The image of the girl with the telescope stayed in his mind. That night, he slept a little better. The cold stone in his heart felt a little warmer. Chapter 7, The Star Shop. A few days later, Leo was walking in the town. Seaside had one main street. There were small shops on the street. A bakery, a bookshop, a food market. He liked to walk and look in the windows. He saw a shop he did not see before. The shop was small. The sign above the door was dark blue with silver letters. The letters said, Stella's Star Maps. Leo stopped. He looked in the window. The shop was amazing. The walls were covered with maps, but they were not maps of countries or cities. They were maps of the night sky. He saw drawings of constellations, the Big Dipper, Orion, and many others he did not know. The drawings were beautiful. They were made with blue, black, and silver ink. There were also small telescopes, books about planets, and globes of the moon and Mars. The shop looked like a small piece of the night sky. He thought about the girl on the beach. Was this her shop? He felt a little nervous, but he wanted to go inside. He opened the door. A small bell rang. The shop was quiet and warm. A person was at a big wooden table at the back. It was the girl from the beach. She was drawing on a big piece of paper. Her hand moved very carefully. She was drawing stars. She looked up when the bell rang. She had big, kind eyes and a warm smile. "Hello," she said. Her voice was soft, like the sound of the waves at night. "Hello," Leo said. He felt shy. "I saw your shop. It's beautiful." "Thank you," she said. She put her pen down. "My name is Stella. Can I help you with something?" "I'm Leo," he said. "I'm just looking." "Please, look around," she said with a smile. Leo walked around the small shop. He looked at the maps. They were so detailed. Each star was a perfect small dot. Each line was perfect. He felt the same feeling of wonder he felt on the beach. This was not just a job. This was art. This was passion. He looked at Stella. She was watching him. She was not drawing now. She was just waiting. Her smile was still on her face. It was a real, friendly smile. For the first time in a long time, Leo felt he wanted to talk to someone. Chapter 8, A Map of the Sky. Leo walked to Stella's table. He looked at the map she was drawing. It was a big map of the sky in winter. "You draw all of these?" he asked. "Yes," she said. "I love the stars. I want to show people how beautiful the sky is." "Why do you draw them?" "People can use computers now," Leo said. Stella smiled. "A computer can show you a picture, but it cannot show you the feeling. When I draw, I think about the stories of the stars. I think about how old they are. Their light travels for millions of years to reach us. When you look at a star, you look at the past." Leo was silent. He never thought about stars like that. For him, they were just lights. For her, they were history. They were stories. "I saw you on the beach a few nights ago," he said. "You had a telescope." Stella's eyes became bright. "Oh, yes, that was a good night. The sky was very clear. I was looking at Jupiter. You can see its moons with a small telescope. They look like tiny little stars next to a big star. It's amazing." She spoke about the stars with so much love. Her face was full of light, like the stars she talked about. Leo felt something move inside him. It was like a door that was closed for a long time was opening just a little bit. "I don't know anything about stars," Leo said. "That's okay," Stella said warmly. "Most people don't. We live in a beautiful world, but we forget to look up." She pointed to a map on the wall. "That is Orion. He's a hunter in the sky. See those 3 stars in a line? That is his belt." Leo looked. He saw the pattern. A hunter. A story. It was like music. A song in the sky. He stayed in the shop for an hour. Stella told him about different constellations. She told him their names and their stories from old times. Leo listened. He forgot about his sadness. He forgot about the silence in his head. He was in a new world. A world of stars and stories. When he left the shop, the sun was setting. The sky was orange and purple. He looked up. He thought he could see the first star of the evening. He smiled. It was a real smile. Part 3. The music returns. Chapter 9, The Sound of the Sea. Leo started to visit Stella's shop often. Sometimes he bought a book about planets. Sometimes he just talked with her. He learned many things. He learned the names of stars like Sirius and Vega. He learned about galaxies that were far, far away. One afternoon, they closed the shop and went for a walk on the beach. The sun was warm. The sea was calm. They walked without talking for a while. The only sound was the waves. "Listen," Stella said softly. Leo stopped. He listened. The waves came to the shore and went back. "Shush, shush, shush. The ocean has its own music," Stella said. "It's always playing. It never stops." Music. That word made Leo's heart feel a little heavy. "I used to make music," he said quietly. It was the first time he told her. Stella looked at him. She did not look surprised. She just listened. "What happened?" she asked gently. "It's gone," he said. "After an accident. I can't hear it anymore. In my head." They sat on the sand. Leo told her everything. About his life in the city. About the concerts. About the accident. About the silence. Stella listened to every word. She did not say, "It will be okay." She did not say, "Don't be sad." She just sat with him, and her presence was a comfort. When he finished, she was quiet for a moment. Then she picked up a small, flat stone. "Look at this stone," she said. The ocean made it smooth. For many, many years, the waves washed over it, again and again. The stone changed. It became different, but it is still a stone. Leo looked at the stone in her hand. It was gray and perfect. "Maybe you are like this stone, Leo," she said. "Something big happened. It changed you. The music is not gone. Maybe it is just different now. Quieter. You just need to learn to listen in a new way." He looked at her. Her eyes were so kind. He looked at the ocean. The waves came in and out. A slow, steady rhythm. The ocean's music. For the first time, he thought she could be right. Maybe the music was not gone. Maybe it was just waiting. Chapter 10, The First Note. That night, Leo sat in his small house. The words of Stella were in his mind. Listen in a new way. He thought about the stars. They were not just lights. They were stories. He thought about the ocean. It was not just water. It had a rhythm, a song. He looked at the guitar in the corner, the dark shape in the room. He felt a little scared, but he stood up and walked to it. He took the guitar out of its case. The wood was smooth and cool. He held it. It felt familiar. It felt like an old friend he did not see for a long time. He sat on his bed and put the guitar on his lap. His fingers touched the strings. They were cold. He pressed one string. He played a note. Ding! The sound was clear in the quiet room. It was just one note, but it was not empty. It was full. It was full of hope. He played another note, and another. He did not try to play a song. He just played single notes. He listened to each one. He listened like Stella listened to the ocean. Then, a small melody came into his head. It was very simple. Just 3 notes. Up, and then down. It was like the sound of a small wave. He played the 3 notes again and again. It was not a big song for the radio. It was not a song for a big concert. It was a small, quiet song for a small, quiet room. But it was his. It came from him. A tear fell from his eye and dropped onto the guitar. It was not a sad tear. It was a happy tear. A tear of relief. The wall in his head was not gone, but there was a small crack in it, and a small note of music came through the crack. He played for an hour. Just simple notes and small melodies. The cold stone in his heart started to melt. The silence was not so loud anymore. It was filled with the soft sound of his guitar. Chapter 11, A Song for the Stars. The next day, Leo went to Stella's shop. He was nervous but also excited. He had his guitar with him. Stella was surprised to see the guitar. "You brought your friend," she said with a warm smile. "Yes," Leo said. I wrote something. It's not much, but I wanted you to hear it." They sat in the shop. The afternoon sun came through the window. The star maps on the walls looked like they were listening too. Leo took a breath. He started to play. He played the simple melody he found the night before. The notes were soft and clear. He thought about the ocean. He thought about the quiet nights. He thought about the stars. The music was different from his old music. His old music was like the loud, fast city. This new music was like seaside. It was slow, peaceful, and a little bit sad, but also hopeful. When he finished, the shop was silent. Stella was looking at him. Her eyes were wet with tears. "Leo," she whispered. That was the most beautiful music I have ever heard." "Really?" he asked. It was so simple. Simple is beautiful, she said. It was like watching the stars. It was quiet and full of wonder. Leo felt his heart fill with warmth. Her words were a gift. He played another small melody for her. This one was a little happier. It was like the moonlight on the water. He started to bring his guitar to her shop every day. He played for her while she drew her maps. His music filled the small shop. It mixed with the smell of paper and ink. Her art and his art were together in the same room. They were a good team. He started to write a full song. It was his first song in over a year. The words came slowly. They were not easy like before, but they were real. They were honest. The song was about a man who was lost in the dark. Then, he looked up and saw the stars, and one star was brighter than all the others. One star showed him the way home. He knew the song was for Stella. Part 4, A New Constellation. Chapter 12, A Heart Full of Music. Leo's life was full of music again, but it was a new kind of music. He wrote songs in his small house by the sea. He found inspiration everywhere, in the color of the sky, in the sound of the wind, in the smile of Stella. He did not want to be a famous star again. He did not miss the big city and the loud concerts. He was happy here. He played his music for the people of Seaside. Sometimes he played at the small town market. Sometimes he played at a little cafe. The people loved his music. They said it was honest. They said it made them feel peaceful. Leo was happy. He was not making music for fame or money. He was making music because it was in his heart, and he wanted to share it. He and Stella spent all their time together. They walked on the beach. They cooked dinner together. They looked at the stars at night. Stella would show him planets through her telescope. Leo would play a song for her. He learned so much from her. She taught him to be patient. She taught him that even in the dark, there is light. You just have to look for it. Stella learned from him too. His music gave her drawings a new feeling. She listened to his melodies, and she drew the dance of the planets. She listened to his words, and she drew the stories of the constellations. One evening, they were on the beach. Leo had his guitar. The sky was full of stars. You know, Leo said, before I met you, my world was silent. It was dark, like the sky with no stars. He started to play a new song. It was the song he wrote for her. The lyrics were simple. I was lost in the night / my heart was a stone. Then I saw a light / I was not alone. You are my star, my morning light. You make my world feel new and bright. He sang it softly, just for her. His voice was full of emotion. It was full of love. When he finished, Stella's face was shining in the moonlight. Leo, she said. She moved closer to him. You're not lost anymore. No, he said. I am home. He put his guitar down. He took her face in his hands and he kissed her. It was a soft, gentle kiss. It was a kiss full of promise. It was the beginning of a new song, a song of love. In that moment, under the sky full of stars, Leo understood. The accident did not just take his music. It took his ability to love, to feel, to connect. He closed his heart. Stella, with her quiet kindness and her love for the stars, showed him how to open it again. She did not just give him back his music. She gave him back his life. She gave him back his heart. They were two different people. A musician who lost his song, and a star mapper who looked for stories in the sky. But together, they made a new constellation, a new story. A story of hope, healing, and love. And their music, like the light from the stars, was a beautiful thing in the quiet town by the sea.